It doesn't feel like too long ago that season wrapped up and you guys had your break. Now you're back into it. Does it feel a little early now you're back doing pre-season?
I don't know about early. It's we've had a few weeks off now, and I was talking to a couple of boys in there before. And it feels a little bit weird just kind of being back without these little 8-10 people groups. So we're all out there training together and doing that kind of thing. The restrictions are eased a little bit, so it's good to kind of get around the whole crew again and have all the young boys back together. It was good to be back out there training again.
Nice to have that flexibility that it's not in the back of your head thinking about those groups, and you're able to sort of do some more full-ground drills, a bit of match sim today and stuff like that. It makes it a bit easier. Yeah,
definitely. Have those kind of restrictions eased a little bit. It makes training a lot easier. I think for us, one of our biggest things is ball movement, so that we want to focus on. I think that's going to really help, having most of the boys out on the track at the moment with all the young boys, and when the senior boys come back as well, hopefully those restrictions will still be the same, and we can really focus on ball movement and moving the ball. Yeah.
What did you do with your downtime, Caleb?
I stayed around here. Obviously couldn't go back to Victoria. I didn't really want to quarantine again, so stuck around, went down south for a week with a few of the boys and our partners, so that was really nice. And then other than that, kind of last month and a bit, I've just been back here trying to get back into a routine of training and stuff. So hopefully coming back into training now, it's a bit of a seamless transition, hopefully.
So obviously at your age you're still growing and developing. What sort of physical changes do you have starting the pre-season this year as opposed to last year?
I think for me, just a continual improvement in fitness, as well as just continually body shape changing, like hopefully getting a bit leaner and stuff like that. Just that natural progression, hopefully, of being in that elite environment and continuing to learn from not only the players but the S&C staff and asking those guys. They're the experts, and just trying to pick their brains and see what little things I can do to keep improving. And I think for me, the fitness side of things as an inside mid is the biggest thing that I can continually improve, especially with the quarters most likely going up next year and being out there for a bit longer.
Obviously it's good to be more normal, but it's still not normal. How do you make sure you're in the right shape when the season starts next year? What do you focus on?
Well, it started a couple of weeks ago when we got into pre-season. I think it was 6 or 7 weeks ago now. The off-season program started, and it started then when all the boys kind of got together and started training and kind of getting into those habits back then, not just waiting to rock up on day one of pre-season expecting it to happen. So that prep started a few weeks ago, and it's going to continue right through until the season starts, and just continuing to ask questions and learn from the coaches and the other players.
Who did you link up with, Caleb, over that off-season period to train with and keep fit?
A lot of the younger guys were really kind of getting around each other and training together, but I think the guys that I trained with most, probably Andy and Ches, and then a couple of other guys like Switter and Youngie, and Lloyd Meek was training really hard as well. So I think there was a couple of little groups who were training together most of the time, and a few boys kind of floated in and out and did some stuff by themselves. So overall, we had a really consistent group. They were always training together, and we never really had to run by ourselves or do the kicking by ourselves, which made it easier.
And strength and conditioning coach Phil Merriman, have you had much to do with him yet and discussions with him as far as your progression goes?
Not really. He's hopefully coming over on Wednesday or Tuesday, I think, and he'll be in for our session on Wednesday, which will be good. And looking forward to meeting him. I've done most of my work with Dan this year in the off-season. Dan Zakanich, who took over for the back half of the year, so he's been great. I've been doing a lot of work with him with my gym stuff and running, so really looking forward to meeting Phil, and a few of the boys have spoken to him, and I'm really impressed with his attitude and character so far, so I can't wait to meet him and learn from him.
A few fresh faces with the assistant coaches as well. How was it having a few of them out there and running with you today?
Good, yeah, it was great. Having Muz in more of a formal role, I guess, was good, having him out there running around. He's always leading the charge to the running. He's probably the fittest out there, so to have him and Matty Boyd, who's not far behind him, out there running around and stuff like that's been great. And I've only met Matty Boyd a couple of times, but I think the biggest message from up top like Bally and Gala and stuff is they really wanted to bring good characters in, and I think those guys fit it to a T, so I'm really looking forward to learning from them.
Okay, you mentioned before about trying to build your fitness and getting leaner. Is that more of a focus instead of adding size for you this pre-season?
I think so. I think kind of weight-wise, I'm kind of where I want to be, or maybe potentially dropping a kilo or two, but it's not a big focus in terms of that weight. It's more just kind of getting leaner and fitter, so I can run more and get to more contests. So that's probably the biggest focus for me, rather than probably putting on weight. But it's not just fitness. I'm trying to get stronger as well, but hopefully keeping the weight around the same as I am now.
A couple of guys who missed the back end of the season out today, probably mainly Hayden Young, who was in full training. How does it see him back out there? And obviously good to get him and Liam Henry, who missed pre-season as well last year, get a full pre-season hopefully under their belts too.
Yeah, Youngie was looking great all through the off-season. He's been back fully training for a couple of weeks now, and he was saying his ankle felt really good after the session today. So hopefully he can keep progressing, and we saw what he could do in the last couple of games before he got injured earlier in the year. So I think he's going to develop really nicely and hopefully put a really good season together next year. And Liam, I think he was running really well at the end today, so he's looking really fit and lean, and hopefully he can have a full pre-season and really get stuck into the year next year.
Doing a lot of your off-season with Andrew and Adam, was that a conscious decision, I guess, to stick with a couple of guys that you want to build a lot of chemistry with in that midfield?
I guess so, yeah. I guess for us, we're all kind of good mates, so it was pretty easy to kind of just link up and do training together. But I guess as well, it really helps that they're both really fit, professional young guys. So I was really able to kind of push myself running and doing skills with those guys. And most of the sessions all the sessions were to a really high quality. So it was great learning from those guys and kind of going doing everything in the gym, running with them. So yeah, I really learned a lot from those guys, and hopefully we can continue building that chemistry throughout the pre-season into next year. Yeah, really good. Andy and Chet, both of them looking really fit. Like I said, we've been doing our running together, so I think we've all been pushing each other. It hasn't been just one person dragging us all along. We've kind of been pushing each other through the session, so that's been good. And I think you saw today they're both looking really fit, and their skills looking really good. So I think they're both ready for a big season next year.
Have you seen much of Joel handling this around the club at the moment?
I think. Yeah, Joel's progressing nicely. I think he did a couple of sessions with us, and I think he may come back at some stage before Christmas, but I'm not 100% sure. I think he's travelling pretty well, and I think so is Alex, and I think he's back home at the moment. But yeah, I think they're both going pretty well, and I know they're both really excited to get back whenever they get back and get stuck back into training because they've missed out on a lot.
Another guy that was out there today that didn't actually have to be is a guy that you almost took the spot in midfield last year. Connor Blakely, how's he looking this year?
Yeah, good. I think he's been working really hard over this off-season. He's taken the advice, I guess, and really tried to improve in those areas. And I think you saw today, like, he's in really good shape, and really looking forward to seeing him continually improve. And I think that competition for spots is really healthy within a squad, and I think as long as we're all continually improving, that's really positive for us as a group. So looking forward to seeing what he can do over the pre-season.
We had much of a conversation with Sean Darcy, speaking up people sort of looking a bit leaner. He certainly looked like he'd been putting in a fair effort in the off-season.
Yeah, he has been working really hard. I think him and Mihi both, the two big ruckmen, they've both been working really hard. They've had their own kind of gym programs that they've worked out with Dan throughout this off-season, and they're both looking really fit and strong. And I know they're both throwing a lot of weight around in the gym at the moment. So looking forward to kind of seeing them go head-to-head in a few on-field battles when we get in the match sim, and I'm sure they're both going to have really good seasons next year.
You try and get back to Gippsland over Christmas with the borders opening up now. What's the plan for you once you take a bit of a break?
Yep, looking forward to getting back over Chrissy. I think we're flying back after the last day of training, and I think there's a few of us all going back. Touch wood, the borders stay open and everything is all good, but either way I'll try and head back and see family. I think a lot of us haven't seen our family since we came back after the shutdown, so nearly 8 months now. So it's been a while, and I know they've been doing tough and back in Victoria, so I'm really looking forward to kind of getting back and seeing family and friends.
Has it been tough for you moving interstate in this first year and not having that support network from them to even come over or you to see them? How did you find it moving out of home and not having that face-to-face contact with us as much?
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough for both of us, not just me, like my family back home missing out on my debut and kind of my progression this year. They would have loved to be at those games, but I think we've kind of kept in continual contact and their support's always felt from me. So while it has been tough, I know there's a lot of people doing it tough out there, so I guess it's just this year and what COVID's presented. So really looking forward to spending some time with them over Christmas and getting back to seeing them.
Just another, I don't know if you know much about Zach Reid as a power boy, but pick 12, he could be around that stage come Wednesday. Hopefully he might end up at the Dockers as well, being a Gippy boy too. Yeah, I've played a little bit of footy with Zach actually the last few years, and back when we were in Inverloch, we both came from Inverloch back in the day, and yeah, he's a great kid, and we know their family, they're a great family, so if that's the way it falls, then fantastic, and I'm just really looking forward to seeing who we get in the purple on Wednesday night, and hopefully get them in as soon as we can and seeing what they got.